This type of behavior is killing our youth. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Association, almost 1/3 of traffic-related fatalities are a result of speed. In this video, I'm going to show you some extreme cases of reckless driving and what their end result were. Welcome to Firehouse Heavyweights TV. I'm your host, King Jerome, and on this channel, I teach you parents how to keep yourselves and your family safe from car wrecks, from fires, and from medical emergencies. One of the videos that you guys may have seen before and brought you to this channel is this one. I'm going to put a little, you could click this little link up here that shows you the video of the two teens that were pulled over and they kept speeding, and unfortunately they lost their lives about 15 minutes later. Here's the first one.
A fiery crash, the white Dodge Durango with 3 teens inside, leading police on a high-speed chase through multiple counties before losing control and plowing into another driver on Ford Boulevard in Ypsilanti Township.
They're lucky they didn't kill that woman, but they're lucky they didn't die themselves.
It all started around 7:30 Tuesday morning here on Wiltshire. The teens boldly walking up to cars and houses to see what's unlocked, entering the back door of a home while a woman slept inside, stealing her purse, keys, and her Dodge Durango. Hours later, deputies spotted the Dodge Durango and gave chase.
Our deputies pursued it for a while. Very high rate of speed. We called off the chase because of some of the high rates of speed. It left Washtenaw County, went into Wayne County. It was pursued by Michigan State Police, Van Buren.
The teens finally making their way back into Washtenaw County, police close behind when they lost control here in front of a motorcycle shop.
So in this video, there was 3 or 4 teens that they went into a woman's house. They stole her keys, her purse, her car. They went on a joyride. And then you could see the impact that they have when they hit another car. Literally, the car blew up. The other person's car blew up. These people are really lucky that they survived. Really lucky. Really lucky, because most of the time, people just don't survive this kind of stuff. Let's go to the second one.
She is being called hell on wheels. The petite teenager shows complete shock as the judge reads the verdict.
This was not reckless driving. This was murder.
Teen accused of slamming her car at 100 miles per hour into a brick wall, killing her 20-year-old boyfriend, Dominic Russo, and his friend, 19-year-old Davian Flanagan, who was sitting in the back seat. Evidence at the trial indicated Mackenzie wore her fuzzy Prada slippers and that the accelerator pedal was being pushed down at 100% capacity.
And this is down in Industrial Park. It is not a cut through to where she lived. And so it was sort of an out-of-the-way place for her to be.
At her trial in Cleveland, Ohio, the judge let her have it.
Mackenzie decided death was the ultimate goal that day, and she alone made that decision for Dominic and Davian.
Before her conviction, Mackenzie posted this bizarre video on TikTok.
I'm not even cool. I'm just one of those girls that can do a lot of drugs and not die.
If you guys haven't heard of this young lady down in Ohio, Mackenzie Shirilla, you should, after you guys watch this video, make sure you go YouTube it and check it out. This is a 19-year-old female that was sentenced to life in prison for killing her boyfriend and his friend in a car. Pretty much what happened was they were smoking, they were drinking probably, and they went for a drive. During the drive, Mackenzie, who was the driver, she sped at about 100 miles an hour. 100 miles an hour straight into a brick building. No braking, no nothing. Just straight into the building. I do not believe that marijuana makes people do certain things and certain actions. But in most of these situations, a lot of people try to brake. And that's usually how police officers and state patrol and state police are able to determine how fast the vehicle was going during a fatal car accident, is by the skid marks. There was none of that here. And according to court records and must have been witness testimony as well, that this young lady and her boyfriend are having a rocky relationship. So I almost feel like it's a really good possibility that she was a little suicidal and that she was going to take her boyfriend with her. And unfortunately, the friend was riding with them this day, and this happened. I truly believe that she was not intending to survive that. But she did. And now she's in prison for the rest of her life. Next video.
Closely at that flash on your screen, it's a white Porsche that Bellevue police say was driven by 26-year-old Ting Ye on September 30th around 4 in the morning. Traffic cameras capture the moment that vehicle hit a cement barricade and went airborne. Investigators say Ye, the driver, survived. Her passenger, 27-year-old Yabu Lu, died.
The driver responsible didn't leave the scene, but she has since fled the country.
Entrance. The car skids on its side at least 300 feet, clips the concrete wall, flies over the pond by the freeway entrance, and tumbles into the brush. This is the car upon landing. The driver, 26-year-old Ting Ye, was in a 2020 Porsche 911. Ye's passenger, 27-year-old Yabao Lu, died in the front seat. Police say they believe Ye was driving almost 100 miles per hour. When paramedics got Ye out of the car, crews smelled alcohol on her. They then took her to Harborview Medical Center for treatment.
This video is so crazy on how this woman was speeding. You could see how she's getting caught in each of these traffic cameras. And the way after they make impact, it almost looks like that was a ramp originally. But it wasn't. That was a concrete barrier that you could see cracked if you replay it. And you look at the concrete barrier before and after the car makes contact. How it just completely gets obliterated. Unfortunately, the passenger in this vehicle passed away. And what's really messed up is what this young lady does right after. After they get released from the hospital, or she gets released from the hospital, she goes up to Canada and takes a flight from Canada to China. And since the United States and China do not have a extradition type of treaty, there's really no going and getting her. Condolences to the families, for sure, because this is really messed up. And hopefully the passenger of that vehicle, their family, finds justice. Now I want to talk about ways that we can try to avoid these situations. The reality is that as much as we try to show our kids and teach them about reckless driving, why not to do it, about defensive driving, there are just things that you cannot control. They're just completely out of control. A lot of teenagers die, and young adults, old people, young people, die from other drunk drivers hitting them. That's something that's completely out of our control. But for your kids, and what I do for my kids, my biggest warning I try to give them is be careful who you step into a vehicle with. Be careful who you get in a car with. Some people, and I'm sure you guys can think of right now, there are people in your lives that you know that are very reckless when they drive, or if they become very emotional, the way they start driving very erratic. This case that happened with these two young men and Mackenzie, Shirilla, I'm sure it was an emotionally driven event that happened. And as a parent, and I know you guys feel the same way as well, you do not want this to be your kids. The next one is defensive driving. And I mean, they teach us in driving school. We try to teach them, as parents, when we're driving with them, we're trying to show them how to drive. Be on the lookout. But the reality is, it's just not possible to be paying attention every single time. It's just not. So the best thing we could do is attempt to get them in that mindset of always watching your surroundings and the way people are driving. Now, I got some recommendations, some product recommendations. They may be useful for some. They may not be so useful for others. The first one, this thing is called, and I'm gonna put the pictures right over here. This is called the KO Tracker. Pretty much what this does is that you're able to plug this thing in right into your OBD2 reader in your car. Pretty much where you get the trouble codes. Like if you plug in the little tool, you go to AutoZone, and you want to see why you got a check engine light on, you could plug that in. What this one has compared to what many others do not have, it comes with a key. So what happens is you plug this thing in, you take the key out, now this device is locked in. So now it can't be knocked off, it can't be pulled off, things like that. What this thing does, it runs off of the car's battery power, and it gives you updates on trouble codes that the car may be having. It'll give you acceleration alerts, deceleration alerts, impact alerts, things like that. And you could get those notifications onto your cell phone, I believe on email as well, or however it is that you set it up. They have their own website, they have their own mobile app that goes with this. And it could be really good if you want to keep track of how your kids are usually driving. If they're frequently driving recklessly, then you could have a chat with them. But like I said before, it's just one of those things that you can try to keep your kids as safe as possible, but at the same time, unfortunately, we cannot control what other people outside are doing. The next one I want to show you here is a voluntary ignition interlock device. So I know this might be overkill for some people, but for others, this may be a solution that they're looking for their kids, trying to avoid them ever having to be arrested for OWI or something like that. Here in the great state of Wisconsin where I live, this is very, very, very common. Drunk driving, OWIs, and things like that, unfortunately. But is this true? This would, of course, have to get installed. But pretty much what it does, if you guys are not aware of how it works, the driver has to blow in to this breathalyzer. If it's over the legal limit, which is usually 0.8, the car will not start. The car will not start. And that could definitely save your child or someone else their lives, their freedom, and even just their car in general. Make sure you guys scan the QR code so you can check it out on Amazon. Otherwise, if you're not able to scan the QR code, the link will be down in the description below. And if you guys don't like that specific one, there's a bunch of other ones that you'll see in the same area. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. And make sure you stay tuned, because on the next video I'm going to shoot, I'm going to talk about the dangers of road rage. So I'll see you guys on the next video.